could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding who will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and really struggled with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a fourth World Cup, having also played for Brazil at the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his 10-year exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways is Cherry's head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and really struggled with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a fourth World Cup, having also played for Brazil at the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his 10-year exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and many struggle with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a 4th World Cup, having also played for Brazil at the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his tenure exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the 3-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and many struggle with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a 4th World Cup, having also played for Brazil at the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his tenure exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards an anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil for Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 amid his struggle with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a 4th World Cup, having also played for Brazil at the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his tenure exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and really struggled with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a fourth World Cup, having also played for Brazil in the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his tenure exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. Here's your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding he will leave. A final piece of football news in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti's 26-player squad for this summer's World Cup. The 34-year-old, who now plays for Brazilian side Santos, is the country's all-time leading scorer with 79 goals in 128 appearances, but has not played for the Seleção since 2023 and really struggled with injuries. Making the squad means he'll feature a fourth World Cup, having also played for Brazil in the 2014, 2018 and 2022 tournaments. Golf now, former US Open champion Graham McDowell has secured one of the final 9 qualification spots for this year's edition at Shinnecock Hills. McDowell came through a 36-hole qualifier in Dallas with 2 rounds of 69. It'll be his first major since his tenure exemption for winning the US Open ended in 2020. The tournament takes place between the 18th and 21st of June, but fellow Northern Irishman Tom McKibben won't be there as he withdrew from the qualifying event, and Sergio Garcia also missed out by 2 strokes. Finally, to basketball, Victor Wembanyama produced an epic night to help the San Antonio Spurs take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday evening. Wembanyama scored 41 points and grabbed 24 rebounds while leading the Spurs to a sensational 122-115 win over their hosts, the Thunder. The loss was the first of the playoffs for the Thunder, who had swept the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers to open the postseason. Dylan Harper added 24 points, going 8 of 20 from the floor, including 1 for 7 from the three-point range and 7 for 7 from the line, and also had 11 rebounds, 6 assists and 7 steals. Game 2 takes place on Wednesday in Oklahoma City. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Mikel Arteta says he will be the biggest Bournemouth fan ever on Tuesday, with his Arsenal side now on the brink of winning the Premier League title. Monday's 1-0 win over Burnley means Arteta's Arsenal will be crowned champions if Manchester City do not win at Bournemouth this evening. In City's ways, the Cherries head coach and Arteta's childhood friend Andoni Iraola, who grew up with and played in the same youth team as the Gunners' boss in the Basque Country. And after City boss Pep Guardiola supported West Ham against Arsenal last week, Arteta has shown his support for Bournemouth, who are currently on a 16-game unbeaten run, the longest of its kind in Europe's top 5 leagues, admitting he'll be a big fan. Speaking of Guardiola, this could be his penultimate game in charge, with Manchester City believed to be preparing for his exit after Sunday's Premier League match against Aston Villa. It's been widely reported the managerial grade will leave the Etihad at the end of the season. The Spaniard has a contract for next season, and City is still hopeful he will remain as the manager. However, work towards his anticipated exit is believed to be underway, with members of staff understanding who will leave. A final piece of football news: in Brazil forward Neymar has been included in head coach Carlo Ancelotti.
Clear the lines, and Hill is actually going to retreat halfway to retrieve it. He may just go all the way back to Petrovic in goal. He is. And key ball now. It's just going to be moved to the near side. Header, and it's going to be a Bournemouth throw. I'll tell you what, it's been a spiteful game, a lot at stake, but you'd probably expect a bit more caginess from these two teams. Granted that there's so much at stake, but no, these two teams are going for this.
Yeah, they are, and a good job as well, because that's what myself and you, Nathan, of course, we want to see as neutrals in this game. We want to see a good game of football. Like we said, they're both attacking, exciting teams, exciting brands of football that both sets of managers played, the two Spaniards. So, yeah, I think I kind of expected it to be that entertaining end-to-end game of football, which so far is what it's been.
Yeah, it's lifted up to the billing, 7.5 on the clock. No goals just yet. One chance for Doku in the box. Well saved, but waiting for Bournemouth to really flex their attacking muscles. Just haven't got that grip on the game just yet. Going to be throwing on the near side. Marcos Senesi, talks of him leaving in the summer as well for Bournemouth, leaving on what looks to be a free transfer as he hits to be a free agent. Just looking at scenes of Pep Guardiola at the minute. Of course, achieved so much in the decade that he was there. 6 Premier League titles included, 4 FA Cups, 5 Carabao Cups and 1 Champions League, and the rest, Super Cups involved in that as well, and Community Shield. It's some return from the Spanish manager. He's moved to the near side for Bournemouth, flick round the corner to the near side to Truffert. He's been a busy man down this left flank. He's going to zip it left-footed down the line, pocket of space for Tavernier, into Evan Nielsen, back to goal, move back to Truffert, a bit too much on it, but it will be kept in on the touchline, near side. By the byline, left-footed cross into the box to the back post, evades everyone, but it will be collected once again by Tyler Adams, and they're just starting to creep forward ever so much. Bournemouth not getting close to the goal just yet, but still getting forward. Back to Senesi, left of centre. He's been kept honest by Silva, keeping on the ball. Krupi, he's the danger man, zips it into Elvin Nielsen. Good first touch by the number 9, moves it right as well, over to the far side by Ryan, into the box. That's an underwhelming cross, it has to be said, first time by the skipper Adam Smith. And they'll clear their lines, and it's almost like a basketball match. They're going end-to-end here at the minute. Doku's got it left flank, over halfway, just seeing what sort of support he has, and he goes backwards to Rodri and swept over to the near side to Bernardo Silva. And it's foot on the ball time, and maybe just a breather for these two teams.
Yeah, Man City will want control of this game. That's always so important to Pep Guardiola's side, and they look like the joy that Bournemouth are having so far in this one. And yes, Bournemouth haven't really come close to scoring as of yet, but they're having quite a bit of joy on the attack. As you see, Krupi trying to maybe apply a little bit of press. Got good players, how the Cherries. They really do. Lost Semenya, but look just as good, if not better, as a team, which is so important. It's a credit to Iraola, who of course is going to be moving on. But Bournemouth, they replaced the players very well, so why can't they replace the manager very well? Of course, they've got Marco Rosa coming in as manager from next season, so let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, it's like a football factory there, isn't it? Out with one, in with the other. Very organised club, and look fairly organised on the pitch at the minute, but they're trying to keep City at bay. Semenyo drives centrally, the number 42, just going to go back to halfway and keep hold of the ball. Kieran's mentioned the possession, well, 53% for Bournemouth, so they're actually more in control of the ball as it stands. And like you say, I don't think City will appreciate that too much because they like being hold of the ball. That's a loose pass. It's just been picked up by Kusanov. Kovacic let it run. A little bit of a gamble taken. It's in the centre circle now with Kusanov. Just keep ball now for City. 10.5 on the clock. Remains 0-0. As Bournemouth just sort of letting City have it in their first third inside their own half presently. Will begin to push, including Tavernier. That's a good run inside by O'Reilly. Create the space on this right flank for Nunes. The former Wolves man has the ball. Bournemouth sitting deep, and that's led by Krupi and Evan Nielsen. Will protect that goal at all costs and help Petrovic at all costs as well. Man City have to win this game tonight for the title charge to remain anything but, and Arsenal will be champions for the first time since 2004. As Arsenal, I'm sure, are watching on with O'Reilly moving it forward into the centre circle. I'm sure Pep Guardiola will just be reiterating that it's just another game and just go about your work as you would. Ball inside to Bernardo Silva's misplaced. There's room on this near side, just fed out by Rodri. Good interception against Alex Scott, who puts his hands to his head. He knows that was a chance to get forward. Looked in for Haaland. That's an underwhelming pass by Nunes. It's good football. We're seeing them moving it around, but maybe a couple of passes in the final outlet just going astray, just letting both teams down at the minute.
Yeah, it is. That was just the intelligence of Rodri, wasn't he? He saw the little gaps. It's the right idea from Alex Scott to go for that pass as Haaland puts it in behind and Semenyo goes for goal. He finds the bottom corner, but I believe the flag has gone up in the end. Would have been interesting to see if Semenyo celebrated against his former club with it being such a big goal. The flag is up for the time being, though. Kovacic picked the pass. Haaland does really well driving forward. Tell you what, it's tight. I think he's just off.
Yeah, I think it's the top half of his body, as he's leaning. His feet are on. It is tight, and it will no doubt be checked, but I believe he is, just offside. We'll have a confirmation of that in a second. Yep, there we go. Anthony Taylor, left arm up in the air to signal an offside. 12 minutes on the clock, Man City with the back of the net, but it has been chalked off. That'd have been brilliant for Manchester City, and Pep Guardiola just calmed them anxiety slightly with an early goal, but no such doing. Former Cherry nearly causing a nightmare. That's a good touch inside by Krupi after a poor ball to the outside. It's going to be picked off by Ryan. Of course, 3-3, like I said, for the teenager. He's a man in form. Brilliant breakout season for him. But long ball forward, can't find Evan Nielsen. Gahey will pick it off. He's going to drive forward. Inside it goes to Rodri. Man City just growing a little bit stronger in this game. Just getting a bit more of a foothold. Semenyo's got space near side, but he's gone to the far side to Jeremy Doku, who's going to have a run at Adam Smith. He's got the better of him so far, but holds him up, and he's going to go inside to Rodri. Centrally in the Bournemouth half. Moves it, sweeps it to the near side to Semenyo. His touch slightly array, but keeps hold of it, and he goes inside himself. Over to the far side this time, Kovacic. They're just going to look for that angle, look for that gap once again. Bournemouth just sort of letting them have it in the face of the penalty box, but not really getting through just yet. Go into the box now with Semenyo. They may have to go out to go back in. They're going to have to move it to the edge. They moved back to Kusanov. Pocket space. He may just go for goal. He is. Shot comes in. It's wide. He's gone with the instep. Interesting technique with the violent dip, but always going wide.
Yeah, he did that against Palace in the game we covered last time out, and we described it as he was looking for his company moment that we saw against Leicester. Well, I think he was looking for it again, wasn't he? He's a good player, Kusanov. A lot of people wrote him off, didn't they, after his debut against Chelsea, I believe it was, where he looked just a nervous wreck. He looked like a boy amongst men in the biggest and best league in the world, didn't he? But I think he's been outstanding this season. I mean, it's going to be Enzo Maresca in charge of Man City, isn't it, this season? I'd be shocked if he's not one of the first names on the team sheet next season, just with how good he actually is at the back. But here come Bournemouth.
Left-hand side, it's a poor touch from Tavernier. Good sliding tackle by Gahey, sniffing out the heavy touch, covering his other centre-half in Kusanov, who was trapped into a dummy that left him astray. Nunes was on the retreat. It was a 3-on-2. Tavernier, that was a big opportunity if you could get it right. Touch lets him down, but they remain on the attack with Truffet. Wants the early ball into the edge of the box, back to Tavernier, across goal. Bournemouth, they've missed the sitter. It's an open goal. 6 yards. Evan Nielsen's put it over the bar. 50 minutes in, he sees the funny side of it. I don't think many will for Bournemouth. Huge opportunity, 6 yards out. I would say it's gone past Donnarumma. He may be slightly off. I'd call that an open goal. I don't know about you, but huge opportunity.
Yeah, it's an open net because Donnarumma's dived across and it's gone behind him essentially. He's just got to tap it in. He bounced it into the ground. I don't know who's going to be more angry, the Bournemouth fans or Arsenal fans, because they probably just saw the Premier League title go over the bar for a little moment, didn't they? What a chance. But don't know what Man City are doing at the back here. There's a handball. They get away with it for the time being. Living life on the edge. What a great 15 and a half minutes this has been.
It's been open. It has. He may have just been slightly off.
Yeah.
The camera angle's not really in line, is it? It's always on a slanted angle, so it's hard to tell, really. But he did look lingering on the side of offside, but we'll never know. What we do know is it was given as a goal kick, but it was bouncing at him, but that is no excuse. He did it into the floor and then bounced over the top. A stature of Evan Nielsen, you think he'd just be slotting that into the corner, but well, a goal ruled out for Manchester City and an open goal missed from Bournemouth. It's not been a boring opening 16 minutes, that's for sure. But it does remain 0-0, and that's an early warning sign for Manchester City. But brilliant build-up play down the left flank, has to be said, from Bournemouth. Lovely 1-2s, triangle play. That's Adam Smith just taking down Doku, left of centre. Maybe a little bit of frustration as Doku's got the better of him a couple of times. The Bournemouth captain, the veteran, 34 years of age, just takes him down. Free kick, going to go short to the far side to Kovacic on halfway. He's going to go over the top early, looking for Haaland. Hasn't got much of it on it just yet. He's going all the way out for a goal kick, which Petrovic will watch. Haaland not been in the game just yet, but he doesn't normally, even if he's not in the game, he just needs that chance, and he will make the difference. As Petrovic is going to put it down, all purple for Petrovic. Short, he goes left to Marcos Senesi, the Argentine. Moves it to the near side to Truffert, up against Semenyo. Goes down the line, it's a searcher, it's not a good ball. And picked off in the end. When we talk about Danger Man Haaland not being in the game, the other one, of course he is so young, but Krupi for Bournemouth this season, double figures, of course, he's the danger man for them. He's not really been in the game either, so you get them two in the game, we may get goals.
Yeah, and he's been involved in some news himself, hasn't he? Over the last 24 hours, Roberto Martinez, the Portugal manager, just announced his squad, said that Krupi turned that offer down in March to play for Portugal so he could remain with the opportunity to represent France throughout his career. Some have applauded him, some have said a little bit silly because he could have got really into that Portugal attack already, because of the whole Portugal team, it probably is that front three that maybe needs the most bit of work. So he could have had a great opportunity to get into the World Cup, but he's a special talent. I see him more as he believes in himself, that he can make his way into that France team in the coming years. He'll know he's not in there this year. There's no chance he'd be in that squad because it's an absolutely stacked setup, isn't it, at France? But yeah, been involved in a little bit of news himself.
And see with what he's got tonight, but unfortunately at the minute it's former Bournemouth man Semenyo on the ball, right hand side. Truffaut's won the battle so far. Semenyo recollects, goes back to Nunes. Collecting a lot of balls forward here at Manchester City, but not getting anywhere with it. Alex Scott, he was handsy on it, but it was firm and fair. Forward it goes to that man Krupi. Spins his man on the 180. It's 2 against 4 in favour of City. Ball to the near side's a good one. Finding Tavernier. They need to commit some bodies forward here, Bournemouth, at the minute. It's lacking the options. They're going to have to go back to halfway to Senesi. He's going to go early to Krupi. Brilliant trap with the studs. Made that look easy. And they're just going to slow it down, Bournemouth. No interest in getting in the high pace breaking at the minute. Into the centre it goes to James Hill. Along the floor with the right boot to the far side to Ryan. See what he can do, the number 37. Tall stature, the right winger. Moves it down the line to Smith. Thought about the early ball, but he goes back to once where it came. And into the centre once again. It's now time for Manchester City just to sit in and say to Bournemouth, let's see what you've got. Just can't really find a gap at the minute. They're just moving it from side to side at the back. Bournemouth, a bit of room on the far side if they can make their way over there. Hill's going to do that. Yeah, not a lot of room at Vitality on that pitch, and they're going to go all the way back now to Petrovic. They'll be happy to do so at the minute. I think they'll be happy. Nearly 20 minutes in the game, remains 0-0. They've had a big chance, Bournemouth. Definitely an even game so far. City, of course, doing what City do, but you'd like to call it even at the minute. They're playing some good football. Good 1-2, Truffert and Tavernier. Dangerous down this left flank, but need to commit bodies forward in the red and black. Not much at the minute. Krupi's inside. They've found him 30 yards from goal in the yellow boots. Moves it centrally into the City half and back out to the near side to Senesi. Just maybe sniffing for blood here a little bit, trying to drill it into Krupi. That's a misplaced pass. Fed straight to Haaland on halfway. Ball over the top. It's a very high line for Bournemouth. It's over the top. Haaland move to the right hand side. He's going to collect it, but has to retreat. Just for a second, I just thought he may have just been pushing ever more towards goal, but he's had to go backwards, and now it's Man City's time to opt to be patient at the minute. I think it's two teams having a good flurry, trying to push themselves early on. Thought, no, we haven't hit the back of the net, so let's just settle things down for now.
Yeah, and it has done a little bit. It's still got that high tempo though, doesn't it? It feels 20 minutes into this one, still 0-0. As the minutes go on, the more nervous Man City fans will be, and the more excited Arsenal fans will be as well. But we now see Kusanov in possession. It's just one of those, isn't it? You can just imagine the chaos in London if City were to drop points tonight. Of course, Arsenal desperate for that Premier League title. Like I said, it got to a point in last night's game, which I did cover, that it just felt like Arsenal, they wanted that second goal, but they knew just the 1-0 was all that mattered.
Yeah, as it stands, Arsenal will be champions of the 25-26 season. Ball to the far side to Ryan. Down the line, flag stays down. Smith trying to get it across. First corner of the game is going to come at the home side. Out on that far side. Gahey there again. I mean, his game's gone to another level, Mark Gahey, the former Crystal Palace captain, in the way once again.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. I was just talking about Kusanov for Enzo Maresca next season to plan for this Man City side if he is to take over. Of course, it's all kind of high reliable rumours rather than confirmed itself. But you're essentially picking your centre halves between Kusanov, Guardiola and Gahey. I mean, what a hard decision that is. Or you're saying, right, Guardiola on the left and you're leaving out O'Reilly and Aït-Nouri, which is completely ridiculous as well. You can't not have O'Reilly in that team. It's going to be ever so tricky.
Two Premier League 11s they've definitely got, Man City, but the best teams do. But a corner for Tavernier, in swinging it comes. First corner of the game, it's deep to the far post, it's evaded everyone, man hits the deck, no whistle. Come out to Truefair, edge of the box centrally, he's just going to try hook this back into the back post, he is as well. It's a header out, all the way back to Alex Scott in the centre circle to recycle and come again. Survived that one. Oh, Alex Scott's a bit nonchalant with the ball. Haaland nearly nicked it off him, but he's moved it to the near side to Senesi, over the top for Truefair. It's a bit of a flick of the boot at it, and it's a poor ball. It'll be a throw in on the near side, about halfway inside their own half for the away team. Tyler Adams and Erling Haaland just exchanging niceties in the centre. I'm sure they're keeping each other very busy, but it's that man, as mentioned, Mateus Nunes, the number 27, to take the throw in. He'll just assess the options he has, trying to pen them in here, Bournemouth. There's a throw in down the line for Semenyo, and they'll just keep hold of it. City, they'll go backwards to Kusanov. He's going to be tested with his feet. It's a good first touch away from the danger, and then a ball pretty much aimless down line for Senesi. It's an awkward one, but they've dealt with it well. And all the way back to Hill, and he'll go all the way back to Petrovic in goal. And he's just going to launch it forward. He's going to go early. He's seen something we haven't. He's looking for Ryan. Can he take this down? It's a good battle over on that far side between him and O'Reilly. Hooked forward. Bernardo Silva's going to chase it. Senesi's just going to chest it comfortably back. One attempt for Bournemouth, none on target. Two attempts for City, one on target. And that was that Doku chance. 6 touches apiece in opposition boxes. 59% possession for City. So it's been a fairly even 23 minutes as we see it. And the most important stat is it remains Bournemouth 0, Man City 0. So as it stands, Bournemouth will get Europa League football at least. And Arsenal will win the Premier League, but a long way to go. And Man City want to change that. Semenyo, right side of the box to Silva, flicks inside to Haaland, edge of the box. It's a good piece of defending, because I was worried for them there. Early ball inside. Gahey's done really well to use his body up against Evan Nielsen. Hits the deck. Does the referee blow his whistle? I think he's given that against Evan Nielsen. There was a bit of a touch, a little bit naughty. Will be Man City free kick.
Yeah, it's great balance and strength, isn't it, from Mark Gahey? Fantastic from him in recovery when you're running at full speed. And because he'd had the little pull on him initially, which wasn't given as a free kick, would have been so easy to just drop. Not because he's playing for the foul, but just because he's had to almost lift himself back up while running at full speed. I mean, that's serious skill.
He's a talent which you think he'd be in the first team for England come the World Cup in the summer. You would like to think the 25-year-old. He's a fantastic centre-half. All the way back to Donnarumma from the free kick. And over to him on the far side as he comes forward. Left of centre-half as a right-back. Don't see it all that often, but he's comfortable with it. We saw it for Palace, and he is that for City. Inside for Kovacic, pulling the strings as he motors forward. The former Chelsea man, looking for options, moves it to the near side to Silva. Predominantly coming down this right flank on the near side as we can see it on our screens for City. Over the top, look for Nunes, a good ball. Haaland's unmarked, just a bit too much on it. It's going to be a goal kick in the end. Good idea. Just for a second I thought he got there. We're just ticking over halfway through this first half. So Kieran, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nathan. 25 minutes on the clock. It is still 0-0 between Bournemouth and Man City. He looks nervous, doesn't he, Pep Guardiola? He's used to these situations, isn't he? But yeah, like I said, looks nervous. Another thing with Bournemouth, yes, they can confirm Europa League tonight. Well, I don't really think that's going to be the main aim. The main aim is keeping pressure on Liverpool.
Yeah.
Of course, if they were to get a victory tonight against Man City, they're 1 point off the Champions League places going into the final game of the season. If Bournemouth were to get the Champions League, I bet Iraola, he'd celebrate, and he'd think, why on earth am I leaving? Because he could have been managing in the Champions League with a team that he's essentially built. Last game of the season for them, they've got Nottingham Forest. So definitely a very winnable game for them in that sense. And then, of course, for Liverpool, who've been very poor this season, it has to be said. And for Liverpool's final game of the season, they're at home to Brentford. So
who need points for Europe as well.
Exactly. Brentford playing for something also. So it could be an exciting final game of the season if Bournemouth were to win this one. As we now see Bernardo Silva goes across towards Kusanov. Of course, a lot rides on the 8:15 kickoff as well. If Tottenham were to essentially get a point, they're essentially safe without it being mathematically confirmed. Their goal difference far superior to West Ham, so they would be safe if they get at least a point tonight. As we see Haaland on the attack, he finds Jeremy Doku, who'd gone quiet in this game, and Doku's dancing his way into the penalty area. He goes on the outside, fast it across the face, a goal. Takes a deflection and goes behind for a City corner.
Yeah, I must have seen a touch. I didn't, because I thought it'd just gone out for a goal kick. Slammed the side netting. He twos up on every wide man. There was Ryan and Smith. Yeah, it was a good touch from Smith, actually. He got the boot in. That Doku cross looks really dangerous. First corner of the game for City. Second of the game. See what they can do. It looks like Bernardo Silva will take the outswing, and it looked like he may just be going short to that man, Doku.
Yeah, as we now see Bernardo Silva, the man over this one. We saw Arsenal do quite a few short corners last night, which was a little bit rogue from their standards. And then when they didn't do a short corner, they scored. Which didn't really surprise us that much. Bailey's defending for that really poor. As we see this corner ready to whip in, he's going to actually whip this one in towards the centre. He finds the head of Rodri. It veers a few. O'Reilly's in there. It's a goalmouth scramble. It falls to Haaland, and it's well blocked away by Alex Scott, who flies across. Bournemouth struggled to deal with it initially, and it's Rodri's initial header that caused all the problems.
It did. It was sort of headed off the line from Evan Nilsson, but put it back into a bad area. There's Evan Nilsson with a brilliant block once again, scrambling away Bournemouth.
Yeah, corner whips back in. Tyler Adams, header away to the edge of the box. Krupi with a good header away. Nunes with a lovely volleyed ball out to Bernardo Silva, and a good touch as well, as Bernardo Silva hangs it into the area looking towards Mike Gahey. And there's going to be a free kick against Gahey in the box, and that's better defended.
It is, yeah. He's going up against Gahey, and he's won the battle, actually, and I think he's a bit of pain from that battle, actually. He's holding his knee, but he's won himself a free kick. Adam Smith in the box. It was a tough battle between the two, good physical tough battle between the two as well. As the ball came in from Bernardo Silva, no one went out there to close him down. Silva, he had all the time in the world to pick his cross. It was a nice one as well. Whip and dip on that left side. Just getting looks of Andori Areola. Of course, as mentioned, he's leaving in the summer, but will he be happy with what he's seen so far? I think the fact that it's 0-0, he's fairly comfortable with what he's seen. Maybe creativity, especially at home for Bournemouth, knowing the attacking outlet they have, haven't really seen enough. We've seen a couple of flashes of it in the opening half an hour, but maybe not aggressive enough going forward. Of course, they are up against a brilliant Man City side, but he'd be fairly happy, I think. But yeah, you just want to see a bit more going forward.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't think he'll be too disheartened by this. It's 29 minutes where I think they've looked better than average. And they're against a side who try and stay in the title race. Balling behind, can Doku get their great recovery pace from James Hill, who's an outsider within this Bournemouth starting 11 for quite a long time this season. Almost emerged with more opportunities because of the sales, of course, of the likes of Dean Howson and Ilyas Zabani. And he's had his opportunity. He's had a great season, hasn't he, James Hill? That is brilliant defending. Had to get that challenge spot on. He did, or he'd have probably been sent off. As his clearance went for a throw. Ball back underway now. It's going to be Kusanov as we approach the half-hour mark. Kusanov maybe could have hit this one, but because he had one earlier, he doesn't want to. We now see Semenya back to Kusanov himself. Bernardo Silva back to the number 45. He's got options ahead. He's going to drive forward himself. He looks for that hooked ball into Erling Haaland. It's well read though by Senesi, whose forward pass himself isn't the greatest, and intercepted by Mike Gahey, who's up against Evan Nilsson. Turns away from his man, finds O'Reilly. And then into Kovacic, of course, for Manchester City. If things carry on as they are, with the scoreline being 0-0, well, they're not going to panic too much when they've got the likes of Ryan Cherky on the bench. It's quite insane that we talk about a side having Cherky on the bench.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's a brilliant talent as well. You know, there's lads on there that, you know, there's Marmoush, Reinders, Savino, some real talent. Like I say, it's 2 11s, isn't it? Phil Foden as well on there as well. So it's not like they're short on options by any means. This is how they pick teams off. They tire them out, and then on comes the strong bench to just pick them apart. But I think Bournemouth are a bit more savvy to that. They've got a good squad as well. But they're going to come forward now, see what they're all about, because they haven't attacked in a little while.
Yeah, as you now see the ball in the middle of the park, it's going to be Kovacic who looks for a ball in the middle for Erling Haaland. He's getting involved in a lot of build-up play so far, is Haaland, and I've noticed that a lot more this season, ever since they signed Semenyo. Semenyo's been quite wide, so it doesn't really take into the fact of this game in particular. But ever since Semenyo's come into Manchester City, he's been quite narrow with Haaland. It's almost like at times you watch 2 strikers. And Haaland's overall game has improved. He's definitely scored less since Semenyo came in, so that's affected it. But his overall game has definitely improved. Balling behind towards Haaland, he can't get there. Bit of a mess. But the clearance from Senesi just about finds AILFC Scott. I'm not sure that's what was intended, but it works. As we now see Ryan balling towards Scott. It's going to be with Tyler Adams towards the centre for Senesi. He's going to try and carry it into the opposite half. Tavernier, ball down the line for Truffert. Touches it round. Mateus Nunes, right idea, but well read by Kusnov, who gets the pass into Kovacic as well. Interesting that he's gone with Kovacic today. Not seen him have too many starts in the Premier League at all this season. I think he's just wanted that bit of experience alongside Rodri as well, hasn't he? Because Bournemouth are pretty good in transition. And on the counter, as we now see Doku lays it off towards Rodri. It's a little bit heavy for him. Semenyo opens it up, hits it on his second touch, takes a deflection and an easy save for Petrovic.
I think that just sort of sums up City in this game so far. There's been a couple of flashes of openings, but slightly struggling against this Bournemouth defensive unit. Of course, are tremendous, we know that. So it's gone into a bit of a fine balance. I think Bournemouth have been slightly poor trying to make it stick. They work hard in defence, doing really well, but on the out ball's not good enough. So we've gone a bit of a standstill between the two. Not saying it's been poor by any means, but just sort of balanced each other out. You just feel like it's just going to take that one bit of magic, that one maybe break of a mistake just to change this game. And if it stays 0-0 for a long time, you'd like it. It's going to get very nervy at the Vitality.
Yeah, as we now see Mike Gay just touched it round. He's been brought down as well. Not seen too much of the Brazilian so far, have we, Ryan? What an exciting player he's been. I love this trend that we're seeing in football over the last maybe 12 to 18 months of sides preferring powerful, tall, quick wingers. It's one of my favourite trends that we've seen in terms of just the game adapting as the seasons go on. I just love watching a powerful, taller winger. He really is one of them. He's got a bit of everything, hasn't he? He's a great finisher too.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely fantastic. And as we talked about, Bournemouth and the way they just find players and brilliant players alike, and he is another one who's absolutely brilliant. You're absolutely right. He's massive, isn't he? Was it 185 centimetres? I mean, he looks very tall, doesn't he, out there? Up against the fullback, he's leaning over him. But yeah, he's got the power, he's got the pace, he's got the technical ability as well. We just haven't seen it yet tonight. We're still waiting on that. Yeah,
Evan Nilsson turns away from his man, finds Tyler Adams, who's got quite a bit of space in the midfield. It's across to the left-hand side for Truffert. He's got Tavernier for company. Uses Tavernier, finds Krupi, who'd gone a little bit quiet. The front four all just a bit quiet. Tavernier seeing a lot of the ball. Krupi's pass towards Hill is a risky one. I tell you what a touch that is from the head of James Hill to keep that ball in play from going over him. He then plays the ball over the top as well to put Gay under a little bit of pressure. He's holding Evan Nilsson the whole way, and Anthony Taylor recognised that, so he doesn't give anything. Jeremy Doku is then brought down by Smith, and the free kick's given. And Nathan, you don't agree with that decision?
No, I don't. I was worried for Smith because he turned him. Doku did turn him well as well. Thought he's having a horrible time out there, but I saw a touch on the ball there, and he hit the deck. And well, we'll have another look. But he's given a free kick here, Anthony Taylor. He's actually, while we're talking, not missing anything. He's trying to sort something out on the Bournemouth bench. I think someone's getting a bit lippy. He's going to have words. Go back up his fourth official, Craig Pawson, and they just stopped the game. So it will be a free kick for Man City. But yeah, he's just going to have to go sort him out over there. It's probably the only thing that's been missing, a bit of hot temperness in this game. Obviously goals as well, but a bit of temper, a bit of passion. So it's good to see. But it's not the main man, Areola. It's one of his backroom stuff. So I don't know what's happened, but play will resume.
Yeah, Areola not getting involved in that stuff. I think Nathan described it perfectly. Someone was getting a bit lippy on that Bournemouth bench in the end. Nico O'Reilly's touch goes out of play for a throw, and he can't believe that the throwing's just gone against him rather than being for Manchester City. Iraola watching on, wanting a little bit more from his side as Lewis Cook goes through some instruction with Adam Smith, probably two of the longer serving players at Bournemouth. Lewis Cook's been there for an absolute age, hasn't he? So has Adam Smith, of course, as we see Matt Gahey gives the ball away towards Krupi. Krupi on the attack now finds Rayan, and he's going to completely die. His man looks towards Krupi, poor pass. In the end, Gahey steps in. He's been busy, hasn't he, Matt Gahey, so far. Erling Haaland gives it back to the former Palace skipper. It's going to be with Kusanov himself. Nunes. Be interesting to see what Man City do in the right back window this summer. It was always spoke about that Livramento was on the top of the list, wasn't it? That's gone very quiet. I'm not sure that that's going to be happening anytime soon. But yeah, Matheus Nunes, he's had a good season, but I'm not sure is he long term the right back for Man City. It's an interesting one.
He's done his job. He was, if I believe him right, he was a holding midfielder for Wolves. Moved to right back, so it was interesting to see what he'd actually be like. Free kick for Bournemouth after a push from Haaland, just deep inside their own area. But yeah, he's done his job. But very interesting because you talk about Guardiola, like you say, becoming a fullback. He's more of a left back than a right back, essentially. But he's done his job. But yeah, we saw Kyle Walker there for years. He was an out-and-out right back. So it's interesting where they go. But Man City haven't had a full-on quality out-and-out fullback in a long time. If I'm recapping, I think there's a yellow card here for someone. I've seen a card come out there. We'll have to get that confirmed to us. But came back from the replay, and Anthony Taylor was coming back with a card, putting it back in his pocket. Maybe Tyler Adams, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Tyler Adams has just been yellow carded, and I think that's because of his protest towards the referee, because he's not made a foul. So I'm not sure what on earth Tyler Adams has done there, but
he's getting lippy.
Yeah, he's getting lippy. As Nathan said, that's exactly what it is. He's got lippy to the referee, and he said, "No, I'm not having it." It's ball in behind. Matheus Nunes deals with it really well. Up against Krupi, holds it up, turns away from his man, finds Kusanov, and then a ball in towards Rodri. Nice play in the end from City. Forward ball in towards Haaland. Once again, he's just dropping that bit deeper, and it's better hold-up play, stuff that and link-up play, stuff that he used to get criticised for last season and the seasons before. But I really do think he's improved that side of his game, which is so important. The header away from Bournemouth only as far as Senesi. Silly yellow card for Tyler Adams to get as well in this one. Senesi. Forward ball into Evan Nilsson. He looks to turn away from his man. He finds Truffert on the left-hand side. Truffert recycles it to the right for Senesi. Tyler Adams now plays it to the right-hand side once again for Hill. Hill for Adams. 38 minutes on the clock. If you are just tuning in, it is still 0-0 between these two sides. Alex Scott in possession, has Tyler Adams to the left, doesn't use him. He uses Hill once again. A rare bit of just sustained possession here for the Cherries. Truffert turns away from his man. He's going to look for a ball to the right. Instead he goes back for Senesi. Man City not really applying too much of a press right now, as we see a bit of a heavy ball. Erling Haaland starts to sprint towards the Bournemouth backline, but Bournemouth so confident just to try and play through it. Alex Scott now gliding through the midfield. Special player, isn't he, the former Bristol City man? Ball down the left-hand side, a good one for Truffert, who's in behind Matheus Nunes. He finds the cutback for Krupi, who opens it up! What a hit that is from Eli Junior Krupi. What a season he's been having. He backflips his way towards the corner flag. The Bournemouth fans go mental, but I tell you what, it's the Gunners fans, the Arsenal fans, that are going to be cheering more, because the Premier League title is disappearing from Guardiola's side. It is going into the hands of Mikel Arteta, but what a finish that is. 1-0 to Bournemouth.
It's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I was watching Bournemouth, I was thinking, are they getting pressed into playing this possession game and passing it around the back, or is this going to work its way to something? Well, that's more of the Bournemouth I'm used to watching. Ball braved down the line to Truffert, pulled the pass back, the cross back into the feet of Krupi, left side of the D, just inside the box. Oh, Donnarumma doesn't move. Instep of the right foot to curl it into the top right-hand corner. 13th in the Premier League this season for the number 22. Special talent. He loves hitting the back of the net. He has a taste for it. And he's done it once again. There's a roar at Vitality. And there'll be a roar in North London, I am sure. 5 from the break. Man City have work to do.
They've got a lot of work to do. It's been flat, hasn't it, from them over the last 5 to 10 minutes, and their fans watching on. I mean, the destiny might be sealed. It doesn't look like Pep Guardiola is going to be going out with a bang, and Krupi's in behind again. They've made an absolute mess of it. What a challenge that is from Mark Gahey. I believe Krupi may just be offside. We was too busy looking at replays, so we didn't see how the ball ended up one-on-one again with Krupi. Mark Gahey's hurt himself in the last-ditch challenge. But yeah, wow, what a big moment in this one. So Man City took the kick-off. Rodri looked to play it to the side. I mean, what on earth were City doing? And Krupi, he was a mile offside. Oh my, that is the definition of being shook.
It is, and that's the difference. You work so hard in a 38-game season, and that split moment, if that went 2-0, could have thrown all of it away. I mean, it was offside, but Gahey coming back there with that heel tackle was sublime. Defending there, it was offside. If it hit the back of the net, wouldn't count it. But Man City, they need to keep their heads here. They need to keep their heads at least getting to half-time at only 1-0, because it could quickly get away from them. As it stands, Bournemouth will go up to 58 points, 1 point behind Liverpool in Champions League spot before the final day, and Arsenal will win the Premier League.
Wow, what a big moment this has been, as we see Triffer headed away. About a month ago when Arsenal were really wobbling, no one saw this happening, did they? It seemed like they were destined for the almost usual Arsenal, but I'll tell you who's going to be feeling silly. And I bet we see Arsenal mimic it as well. That Man City fan away at Chelsea fan with the bottle with the Arsenal badge on. It all went pear-shaped for City ever since he did that. It was almost like it was
destined.
It was destined.
Cursed it, didn't he?
Yeah, literally. I mean, he jumped the gun with that one, didn't he?
No pun intended.
Quite literally, as you see the ball towards the left-hand side, Jeremy Doku given something to chase. Petrovic takes it in, and for the message to the Bournemouth players will literally be, just see this through now to half-time. Get into the break, chat to Iraola, and hey, we're talking about a title race. Bournemouth 1 point off Champions League football, with 3 more points after this game to play for. That is insane.
It's the definition of humble beginnings, isn't it? You know, Eddie Howe did such a job to getting them to the Premier League, and now they're hitting heights where they're actually fighting for Champions League. Even if they don't get it this year, I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? I'm just seeing most goals in a debut season for a teenager. Krupi's at the top of it now. What a special talent he is. He really is. He's a joy to watch. Yes, he hasn't really brought much to this game just yet, apart from the goal, but the goal itself was sensational. I mean, it's like Haaland, isn't it? You can bring nothing to a game for 80 minutes, but if you score the goal, you score the goal. And he hasn't brought anything until the goal, but it was a top goal. Absolutely brilliant viewing.
And you've got to hit it. It's pretty spot on for Donnarumma not to move. Because you think Donnarumma, if he's got his angles correct,
big goal as well.
He's big enough to just reach out to any point of the goal, isn't he? I mean, the swerve on it into the far corner. I mean, what an unbelievable finish it was. Man City haven't been able to respond. They've not responded very well at all, really, have they? Jeremy Doku's just gone down. He doesn't get the free kick, goes behind for a throw-in. And Pep Guardiola, he's the last... Well, that's ironic. I just mentioned the fan with the Arsenal bottle. Well, the cameras have just panned to him in the crowd. He wasn't in his Man City tracksuit, but it was the same guy. So the Sky cameras had spotted him in that sense. And yeah, I'm sure, I mean, his DMs will be blowing up. I mean, even if he's got friends who are Man City fans, are going to be saying to him, even though they found it funny at the time, what have you done to us? What on earth have you done to us? But the Bournemouth fans are loving life, and rightly so.
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I think it was important for them, if they want any positive result tonight, it'd be the score first. Being at home as well, City look flabbergasted. They look flapping. They're flapping everywhere at the minute. They look really flustered. Although Bournemouth have just given the ball away, that's a really big mistake.
Yes, we now see Haaland. He turns away from his man. He doesn't play a great ball to Semenyo, but he recovers it. And Semenyo's ball in behind is a poor one that's going to go straight into the path of Petrovic. He's going to keep a hold of the ball for a little bit. 44.5 minutes on the clock. We approach the 45th minute. We can't imagine there'll be too much added time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. You'd expect ball in behind towards Smith. He plays a forward pass for Evan Nilsson. He slips over. It's in the path of Kuznov. And can Man City create one more chance before half-time? It's going to be Kuznov once again. Ball to the left-hand side for Gahey. Plays it in behind. Hill finds Alex Scott. Turns away from his man in towards Senesi now. As Petrovic is going to go long, and he's going to boot it long up towards Evanilson. Gehi battling with him, doesn't win that one. 2 minutes of added time. It's a good battle, isn't it? Gehi and Evanilson. We've seen them come to a few times. Kovacic plays a nice ball out to Doku with 2 minutes remaining of this half for the added time. Can Man City create one more chance? They've not created too much, if anything, in this game, have they? Especially over the last 20 minutes or so. Man City well cleared away. Evanilson and Matt Gehi battling this time, and Gehi's got a problem, doesn't he? And Gehi stayed down in that challenge. The referees just had to stop things for the time being. Evanilson getting a bit frustrated, probably because of how well the defending's been from Gehi.
Yeah, he stuck to him like glue, hasn't he? Like moth to a flame. He hasn't given Evanilson an inch. It's just a bit of one. I don't think there's much. I think he just lands on top of him as he lands. I was just a bit worried for him because I thought maybe he landed on his shoulder or something. I think it's more. Is he holding his own? Might be an area of a man that he shouldn't normally touch in that sort of way, or he's winded. But I think he just landed on top of him, so I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay. I think the trailing boot just caught the nether regions of Matt Gehi there, but he's all right. As we see Antoine Semenyo, Rodri with a poor touch, and here's Creepy on the attack to the left-hand side, and it's going to be Bournemouth with the counter-attack, potentially with a final chance of the half. Tavernier switch ball isn't the greatest. Matt Gehi gets a touch, puts it out forward, throwing Kovacic raging with his teammates.
Yeah, the only bright spark of this whole half for City is Matt Gehi. If it wasn't for him, it would probably be more, to be honest. He's kept pretty much all of them at bay single-handedly at the minute. He's been the only outlet. I mean, Guardiola over on that bench keeps panning to his face, and yeah, he looks devastated. He's got a big half-time team talk, big turnaround for City. I mean, they can do it, but it'll be a big ask against this brilliant Bournemouth side, of course, brilliant at home as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a massive second half.
A huge second half coming up with a lot riding on it for both sides. Long throw-in is launched into the area, but straight into the hands of Donnarumma, who's bundled to the ground. But that's going to be that for the first half. Well, it's been separated by a wonder strike from Krupi. What a hit it was into the far top corner. Donnarumma's got a problem with someone as they all walk off. The tensions are high for Manchester City, but going into the break, it is Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0.
Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evanilson had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Krupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evanilson had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Krupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evanilson had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Krupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evanilson had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Krupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it into the floor. It was a tough one to take, but should have hit the back of the net. But then 5 minutes before the break, True Fair finding Karupi on the edge of the box. Top right-hand corner for his 13th of the season. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 1, City 0. Half-time at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. It's been a fairly even game between the two sides. It only took 12 minutes for Antoine Semenyo against his former side to hit the back of the net, but he was ruled offside as Haaland played him through. Evan Nielsen had a chance just after where a ball came across and he missed an open goal, hit it.
It's a very warm welcome back. We've just got back underway at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Manchester City. And, well, it was a brilliant first half between the two, and 5 minutes before the break, it was a brilliant goal from Karupi for his 13th of the season, wrapping it into the top right-hand corner. That's the difference between these two. They look flustered to the back end of the first half, did Man City, but they need to regroup and have the biggest second half of their whole season to pull this one round. It's myself, Nathan Mostell, alongside me is Kieran Graham, as we're taking you through it. Kieran, it was a scintillating first half, but it was one for Man City that probably wasn't, and they need a better one, and they may just get it now early in the second. Played through is Nunes, and it's great save from Petrovic. Massive chance for City's lay back to the edge of the box, and it should have been 1-1.
Yeah, it should have been. What a great start from Man City. The message will be, you've got nothing to lose. you've got to go gung-ho. As there's a risky ball back, Nico O'Reilly stayed forward in behind the Bournemouth fans. Half of them not even got back in their seats yet. And they've given it away again. Here comes City once more.
And on the right-hand side of the box with Semenyo. Well, that's an indication of how this second half's going to go. Right side of the box for Rodri. Over to the far side, touching from Tavernier. They're going to ask for a goal kick and they're getting it. Yeah, and big chance there for Núñez through one-on-one. That's massive. Semenyo spun his man on halfway, moved it to Haaland to his feet, around his man. And then he did a diagonal pass, which was perfect. Allowed Núñez in. He just waited. He went for the bottom left corner, and Petrovic stood him up well and got down quickly for the save. If that got back to 1-1, that's huge for them. But big save by Petrovic. Speaking of Petrovic, there's another game going on in the Premier League, and one at the other end of the table, with all eyes on Spurs away at Chelsea in the London derby. Well, there's been a goal. Chelsea are 1-0 to the good. Enzo Fernandez on 18 minutes with apparently brilliant, incredible goal. We'll have to have a look at it. But it's Chelsea 1, Spurs 0. So into the final day, there'll only be 2 points between West Ham and Tottenham. So they will mathematically not have gone down to the Championship just yet. Long ball through for Haaland. Flag goes up. An offside. It's interesting. I thought they keep the flag down, and if it's a goal-scoring opportunity, I don't know if that's changed. He's thrown the flag. I'm in favour of doing that.
I think if it's
Close.
Not so obvious. I mean, it's
yeah, you sort of knew.
He's right in line with it, so it is obvious. His whole right leg is offside. But yeah, usually when they're a little bit closer like that, usually they do keep it down. But yeah, it's the right decision anyway.
Correct decision, but again, flirting with it there, Man City, already 2 minutes into the second half. Tavernier on halfway, far side, moves it forward to the goal scorer, Krupi, and then Alex Scott, left-footed ball to the near side, trapped down by Ryan. He's going to run at O'Reilly, needs to remain strong. City, Ryan's gone for goal, good block by O'Reilly. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack here for City, led by Doku. He's going to go central to the centre circle, the number 11. He just slowed it down slightly, waiting for some support. He's not really getting it at the minute. He's gone to the right-hand side to Semenyo, who's going to strafe down the right flank on that touchline. He touches the paint. And Truffaire's just keeping him honest. He's going to have to force him all the way backwards. Semenyo, and he's going to go back to halfway right of centre to Kusanov. Right-footed ball to the far side to Rodri. And inside it goes to Kovacic. In the centre circle, he's just going to cut through the ball to the far side, trapped down by Núñez. Want to be getting hurried, and they do look a lot more urgent in the second half. Ball through from Núñez isn't great, and that'll be picked off by Tavernier, the number 16, playing it forward to Krupp. He flicks it round the corner, just couldn't find Tavernier, so it'll be a throw-in on that far side for City. If that isn't evidence of the way this second half's going to go, then I don't know what is, because I think this is the way it's just going to go for the rest of the second half, if it stays this way.
Yeah, it probably will. Man City, they've got to just go for it, haven't they? They have to pepper the goal of Bournemouth, because they've got to win this game. A draw's not even enough. Ball in behind, looking towards Haaland. Good last-ditch challenge from Ryan on full stretch. The winger having to do defensive work, and he puts it behind for a City corner.
Corner on the near side for City. First corner of the second half. Lovely slide as well. It was by Ryan, using that big body we talked about in the first half to stretch and poke that out for a corner. See what Man City have up their sleeve. They went short in the first half from their corner. We'll see what they go about this time. Looks like it's going to be a one straight in there to the penalty spot. To Guéhi, just couldn't get the telling touch. Haaland's going to hook it back in, headed clear. 30 yards from goals, Núñez. He's going to look back to return it to the corner taker. And Ryan's going to get there and head it clear away from Bernardo Silva. A bit of defensive duty for the big wideman. Bernardo Silva goes all the way back to Kovacic. 5 minutes into the second half. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. It's Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0. In with a Champions League place, Bournemouth as it stands. And Arsenal are going to win the Premier League unless Man City can pull 2 goals out of somewhere. Ball forward from Kovacic, under hit. Headed down by Senesi. Alex Scott down the line for Ryan. It's giving him a lot to do. And it's going to be played out for a throw-in near side. For Man City on the near side. O'Reilly will take it. Just down the line he goes for Dockett. It's a bit of an awkward one on the bounce. He's struggling to take it down. He's actually lost the ball. Like he's got backheel down the line. Chance for Bournemouth here. And there's a man in the centre free. If the ball's right, it is. It's slightly under hit. Sol Tavernier slightly short on that far side to allow Man City to get in behind. If there was a bit more love and purchase on it, Bournemouth were one-on-one. But they've had to go backwards. It shows. It's chinking that arm, and they like playing high line, City, and they can be caught out like that at times if they play the cards right. Great ball. It was the right ball. Just slightly under hit.
Yeah, it was under hit in the end. And Tavernier is not the quickest of wingers. He's more technical, isn't he? So I think maybe if you did have a round bursting onto that, or even the likes of Doku or Semenyo on the other side, then potentially something good could have happened from it. But the Chelsea goal that was scored was an unbelievable strike, wasn't it, from Enzo Fernandez, who I believe has reached 20 goals and assists this season with that, which is a great season for him.
That's good numbers of goal involvements for the Argentine midfielder. Smashed into the bottom left corner, brilliant. But Bournemouth on the attack to the far side to that man Tavernier. Bit of a 4-on-4 at the minute, if they play their cards right. And they're chopped inside, trying to poke it to Krupi, down the line to the left side. True fair across he goes. Evan Nielsen. Oh, it's a good save. Donnarumma maybe just going wide, but he didn't know on his right hand side. We'll have to have another look at it. There was a man behind Evan Nielsen. I don't know if he got the call from Alex Scott, but he went for the topo. Interesting if this was going on target, but it will be a corner.
It's great football, isn't it? Quick football, one-touch stuff from Bournemouth across the physical. It's going wide, quite a bit wide. He's not got his angles covered, has he, Donnarumma? But you'd rather make sure, and that's what he did. Corner coming up.
In his farewell game, Areola at the Vitality. It's going to plan so far, and they have a corner far side. Alex Scott will take this in-swinging right-footed corner from the far side. The number 8. It's going to go at the front post under hit. That's going to hit the first man. Not a good ball in. Truefair's going to try head it back once where it came into that box. It'll be helped on. Kovacic on the slice. That's not a good clearance by the number 8. Ryan's going to head it down only to Semenyo. It's allowed Man City to actually come forward. And it's on the near side with Bernardo Silva. Kovacic into the centre circle he goes, running forward, head of steam. That's a good run, and a ball to Haaland over on the far side, slightly overhit, but he's in the box, right hand side. Wants it on that left, of course, to the edge. Rodri's going to dink it to the back post. Man on Martin Doku trying to play it across, I think. He wasn't shooting. Shot comes in now, blocked straight into the hands of Petrovic. And that will be deemed safe. But for me, it was high and hanging for a long time. I think Doku has to hit that.
Yeah, exactly. Good opportunity. Haaland once again on the right. Just better hold-up play from him. Hung a ball to the back post. It's his left foot, isn't it? I think just simply for the fact it is his weaker left foot is the reason he's not hit it. Tight angle would have taken something quite special to score, wouldn't it? But we're at that stage where City, they just have to get those shots off now. They can't be dilly-dallying or they lose the title.
Yeah, they can't be just passing it into the net at this point. There's got to be shots. They've got to get close enough to goal, and they need to. As Nunes plays it into Bernardo Silva, right of centre. He's just going to have to retreat into the safety net of his own half because he has Tyler Adams hot on his heels. He's on a yellow card, of course. The American, like thing, he'll probably make way at some point in the engine room. Into the centre circle to O'Reilly. Audacious, unorthodox ball to Gahey, who's had his pocket pick there. And then Alex Scott, has he been chopped down as well? No, it's going to be a throw-in on the near side for City. Thought he may have been kicked out out there. He's not happy, but we'd have to get another look. Well, here we go. It's the roll of the dice. There's probably the 3 you'd look straight at on that bench. Savinho, Foden and Cherki. I mean, this is probably an organised substitution from half-time, and he thought 10 minutes in the second half, nothing's changed, he's going to make them.
Well, Foden was vital in the game we covered against Palace. 2 great assists in that first half, of course, and Cherki looked pretty good off the bench, didn't he, when he came on against Crystal Palace. So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, isn't it? Even Savinho had an okay game for his standards at Manchester City early to make those changes, but it just shows they need to make them.
Rodri, centrally in his own half, glides the ball to the far side. Is that under hit? No, it will have enough to get to Mateus Nunes on the far side. He'll just drop backwards, burst the pace in the centre. Is that a trip? Yes, it is. Free kick City, right flank of the Bournemouth half. Well, Man City, second lowest points gained from trailing positions with 4, behind Newcastle with 3, but that's probably because Manchester City always score first. I don't think it's deemed to have been poor, but they're not used to being behind is the point we're making. And here come the changes before that free kick. So Ryan Cherki is going to come on. Bernardo Silva, the skipper's going to make way. He's going to pass the armband over. So Ryan Cherki, the Frenchman, will come on in his place. Phil Foden's going to come on for... Well, it's interesting exactly who's going to come off. Kovacic maybe? Yeah, Kovacic is going to come off himself as well. So Phil Foden, as Kieran absolutely rightly mentioned, 2 brilliant assists. One a back heel for Semenyo in that game against Palace last week in the Wednesday kick-off. And it looks like Antoine Semenyo's evening against his former side is over. He hit the back of the net in the 12th minute, but he was chalked off for offside. A very warm reception from every corner of the Vitality. Of course, he was brilliant for them as well, and he left on good terms, it looks like, himself, but Savinho comes on in place. I think that's the right decision for Pep Guardiola. Fresh faces, fresh energy and fresh ideas.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have maybe not done the Savinho for Semenyo. I'd have maybe just done the initial 2. I'd have given Semenyo a little bit more time. He'll be disappointed as well, Semenyo, to come off that early against his former club, not really being able to impress too much. We now see a throw-in ready to be taken. Ball given back to Mateus Nunes, who's getting frustrated. The frustrations are settling in, aren't they, for Manchester City? You wonder how long it's going to take till we get to a point in this game where Bournemouth just completely sit back, because it's not a case of Bournemouth are playing for nothing, they're just a good team. They have to protect this lead as well for Champions League football, so there's so much riding on it.
Yeah, they're not winning Arsenal the title, they're fighting for Champions League football. There's a bigger picture for the Cherries, that's for sure. Header from Guehi all the way back to Donnarumma, who's just going to start the game again. So we're 11-12 minutes into this second half, and nothing has really changed from the first, apart from some personnel out on the pitch. Over on the near side, number 33 O'Reilly, just going to go backwards to Guehi, backwards to come forwards, playing patient, but the clock ticks for Manchester City, who are not used to really trailing in football matches. It's all about character. The best teams find a way to win, and they need to, or the title's gone. Too long on the ball. Nunes had his pocket picked. Truffaire's going to clear his line, looking for Evan Nielsen. Guehi against Evan Nielsen. He may just lose. It's Evan Nielsen scrapping away. He just can't collect the ball back to his teammate. That's a high tackle again, finding that man Evan Nielsen. Tyler Adams, brilliant tackle it was, the American. Left hand side, he's going to run it, and they may be interested in a second goal early in the second half. Maybe not as the time wears on, as like you say, it may just drop slightly deeper. That's a poor touch from a man in the centre in Rodri. He's giving the ball back to Bournemouth. A few uncharacteristic mistakes out there for City at the minute. Truffert goes forward. Lovely 1-2. He's on the left hand side. Already 1 assist to his name. Can't find his man. Hits it into the midriff of a City man. It will be a throw on the far side. Kusanov's hit the deck. Wind blowing from him, but a throw in far side for Bournemouth. You do beg the question of the news of Pep Guardiola. I don't think he would have timed that for him, announcing that before such a big game. You'd like to think, where's that come from? But you do think mentality wise for Man City, it's going to be massive losing Pep Guardiola. Is that going to affect them mentally out there tonight?
I don't think it will. Well, that's going to be the case that he's leaving. There's no way they've all found that out yesterday. This must have been quite clear and made public to the players, the staff. They'll have all known for months. Surely they will have done. That's just how football works. You don't players behind the scenes. You don't learn stuff when it comes out. There's going to be a free kick and a yellow card that's going to go the way of James Hill for a challenge there to stop the Man City counter.
I was just looking there. I thought it was Tyler Adams on the floor there. I thought something was about to get very interesting. But yeah, absolutely right. Number 23. James Hill goes into the book. There was a push on Savinho as he tried to pull away. It may have actually been Tavernier. I'm not quite sure. No, it was definitely James Hill that pushed him. So he was stopping the count. Knew exactly what he was doing. Yellow card for the centre half. Just over half an hour, the mandatory 90 to go. And we're sitting at Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0. High stakes game for both teams. Never boring in the Premier League, even on a Tuesday night. As we get to the latter stage of the season, we're almost at the end. The standstill finish on Sunday. Rodri just has the ball in between his two centre halves. He's gone to the near side to Guehi. He wants an option. He's going to have to go back to Donnarumma. Over to the right hand side of their own box for Kusanov. And then inside to Rodri. They're just meticulous. They're just patient with the play, City, but they have to get it forward. They haven't tested Bournemouth near enough in the second half as they wanted. They're giving the ball away again. Krupi collects it centrally over to Tavernier, far side, inside to Truffert. That's brilliant football on the left flank again. There's an overlap here, and there's a man on the far side. Krupi's gone for goal. It's going to be a goal kick. There was Ryan on the right-hand side, but he went for the first-time effort. You could see why he wanted to do that, trying to unstep Donnarumma early with the snapshot. Again, brilliant football from Bournemouth. Fairly unlucky not to hit the goal.
Yeah, sorry, Nathan. Maybe he could have recycled it to the right-hand side for Ryan as well, but his confidence is just flowing, running onto it as well. I think most players are going to hit it, and he just gets way too much on it. Bournemouth back on the attack again. City just a bit of a mess at the back in terms of just retaining possession. They've given away a cheap corner.
They've not been good enough, City. They definitely have done that. Alex Scott winning a corner on this near side as it's vitality is rocking, and Man City don't see a way out at the minute as the substitutions haven't really taken effect just yet. Max Tavernier is going to take the corner from the near side. They will probably start to believe that they've got a very big chance of Champions League if they can get a second goal here. And of course, it doesn't put them in the Champions League positions, puts them a point behind Liverpool, who face a Brentford side fighting for Europe themselves on the final day. Blustery, it's down on the south coast, of course, Bournemouth, so it's a gusty vitality, an in-swinging left-footed corner, 2 arms up in the air for Marcus Tavernier, former Borough man, to the back post. It goes, header comes in, it's a melee, oh, it's gone wide. I thought it hit the back of the net. There was a snapshot in there from a believed to be Raya, and he's asking for a corner that he's not going to get. We'll have to unpick the replay because there's a bit of a melee going on in there. I think he's at the post.
He's at the post. What a chance for Ryan that is. He's blocked the initial header from Hill. He swivels. Oh, wow, he's hit the outside of the post. What a great chance for 2-0 that is. It could have been game, set, match right there. Man City a mess over these last 5 minutes. The substitutes haven't worked just yet, have they, for Manchester City? Not being able to get on the ball. Ryan Cherky, Phil Foden. Oh, so quiet. That's a great challenge from Alex Scott to win it back.
And they've got the tails up here, Bournemouth. They might look for a second and strike while the iron's hot. It's over to the far side, left-hand side, inside the box, just in the top left-hand corner. Tavernier couldn't find an outlet, couldn't find an angle. He's gone back to Adams, but they stay on the press. Truefair, far side, has been brilliant on that flank at left-back position this evening. He's bringing just as much attacking as he has defending, if not probably more attacking. They've gone all the way back to halfway to Senesi. Man City can't get on the ball, and when they do, they give it away at the minute. As the time ticks, Adam Smith, he's going to go over the top. It's the one that's under hit. It's not a good one. Header up. Foden, he's going to win it back well. The number 47, first time he's really been in the game. Need to get him into the game to make a difference. Rodri, he's got Foden. He's going to use him over halfway to the near side, down the line to Doku. Needs to have a bit of a run at his man. Not seen that yet from the number 11. He's up against 2 though. It's been the theme of play. It's obviously the game plan. Strafing around to the edge of the box. Rodri, bit of space, may go for goal, has done, dug it out. He was rushed as well from Marcus Tavernier. Never really looked set, goal kick.
Yeah, launched it miles over the bar, doesn't he? In the end, his first touch, it bobbled in front of him. So, yeah, he just goes to leather it, doesn't he? In hopes that the power will beat the goalkeeper, but the power beats the goal itself, and he puts it into the stands.
Well, we're seeing pictures of them City fans who, well, a couple of them look like they believe, but they've won themselves a throw-in on the far side. Savinho will leave it for Núñez to take it. They're going to go back to halfway. Still playing the patient game, City. There's no desperation about them just yet. Not changing the way they do play. But again, not testing Petrovic and not hitting the back of the net. It's not good enough. So far, Rodri, left of centre, into Foden. He's going to drop the left shoulder up against his man, Doku with him. He's used him as well. Inside he goes. Electrifying drop of the shoulder he does. But they're struggling against this Bournemouth side. He's coming forward towards the edge. Doku, he's going to put a bit of a desperate left-footed ball in. He's not going to reach anyone in a City top. All the way out to the far side to Savinho. Right-hand side of the box. He's going to run to the byline up against Truefair, who made the early step. Brilliant defending it was. Shepherded it out for a goal kick. He had that early step. He read him like an absolute book. Brilliant defending.
Great defending. He's been one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch so far. You alluded to it about 5 minutes ago. Great down the left flank. And he's just another one of hundreds of examples you can give for Bournemouth in terms of replacing very well. Kirker's left, you think, right, they're losing a key left back, a key part of the side, a key part of the defence. Well, up comes a player who's been just as good as what Kirkers was. And I tell you what, he's been miles better than Kirkers has been this season, that is for sure, as well. So what a signing from Stade Rennais. I believe he was at Stade Rennais his whole career before making the move to Bournemouth. Jeremy Doku, oh wow, that would have been special. He's almost kept that in play, he's shocked. And I tell you what, if he did keep that in play, that was skill to a new level.
He was falling off balance off the pitch. Oh, it looked just. It was right in the quadrant. Yeah, it was incredible. Trapped it in the quadrant and then flicked it round his man. It was very, very close, but it looked just to be out by the winger right in the quadrant. So Hill will take the throw in. 65 on the clock. The clock ticks very fast for City. Probably very slow for Bournemouth at the minute. Foden trying to make something happen left hand side. Is that going to be a free kick? No, it's going to be a throw in on the near side. For the Cherries, Anthony Taylor saw nothing in it. Foden playing his case, but not interested at all, the English referee. It will be another James Hill throw, and further forward, they're just going to throw it down the line, I think, just trying to gain some yardage. He's going to take his time over this. Needs to be careful, of course, on that yellow card We booked for time wasting. It's a long throw into the City half to Evan Nielsen, who's battling away into Gahey, and he's done really well. Krupi, first time pass, what vision to find Tavernier on the far flank. He's got space as well. He's going to run at his fullback. He's got an overlap of Truefair. He's going to try play it in the box. A deflection comes in. Truefair, it's over the bar. Well, we talked about him, and if anyone deserved a goal, it'll probably be the number 3. He's got one for Bournemouth this season. He almost had another. It's gone over the top. It will be a goal kick. It was on the bobble as well. Hard angle. I think it's going to be a corner, you know.
Yeah, it should be a corner. I was just about to say that I think we've cursed him because we were just giving him praise and it looked like he'd just ballooned it over. But it was, in credit to him, it's a great block and it's a corner in the end for Bournemouth. Bournemouth have been a joy to watch the second half. They've been a joy to watch all season. So we're not that surprised, are we? But I mean, credit to the Bournemouth staff and the players. They've done a great job, haven't they, this season, no matter whether it's Europa League or whatever it is that they're playing in next season. I'm excited to see how they do. Of course, it might be a bit of a maybe culture shock for them, playing European football. A lot more football teams struggle to deal with it in terms of their actual league form. Crystal Palace being a great example of it this season. But they've got good players. They've got a good squad, haven't they? You presume they'll sign more as well.
Yeah, you would like to think they have to. It's going to be a ball into the box. Haaland headed away. Truefair's going to recycle it straight into the hands of Donnarumma. And they need to get on with it. He's looking for options. They're struggling to find space out there, City. That's what's happened. They've been so penned in this second half. In the first, they were finding a little bit of joy, but Donnarumma's had to put the ball on the floor. And he moves it right outside of his box to Kusanov. But in this second half, it's been a different game. It's been Bournemouth on top. Don't ever count Manchester City and Pep Guardiola out, but Savinho's trying to flick over the shoulder, probably read the room of what he's trying to do. He's actually won a free kick very well, a good recovery from the Brazilian, and it will be a free kick on the far side, which you presume they'll take quickly and short. And they have to Kusanov, right hand side of the centre circle, just inside the Bournemouth half. Not seen enough of them going forward in this second half. That is a good challenge. Oh, he's been held back as well. Advantage played by Anthony Taylor and a good one. Krupi to Tavernier on the far side, inside to Senesi. Alex Scott will drop the right shoulder. To the right hand side they come. Oh, they're pulling the strings here, the Cherries. Down the line from Ryan. Has he had done too much? Ball in. Oh, it's deflected. Saved at the front post. Donnarumma had to be alive to that because I think the deflection was going to go in the back of the net. It's going to be a Bournemouth corner.
Yeah, it's Ryan. Once again, he goes down the outside, takes a deflection. Great save. Almost an own goal from O'Reilly in the end. Brilliant left hand out from Donnarumma. Not sure if Rodri's going to have been booked for his challenge on Tyler Adams in the build-up. May have just got away with it. He was holding the boot of Tyler Adams. I think he has got away with it in the end. We'll let you know if there's any indication that he hasn't. But yeah, it's corner ready to be whipped in.
Yeah, he's a lucky man if he gets away with that. Corner in swinging from the near side. Bournemouth purring for a second. No sign of a goal for Manchester City just yet. 69 on the clock. Tavernier ball in from the near side, deep to the back post. Once again, it's over everyone. It's off Kusanov. It's going to be another corner from the far side. He lost flight of it, Kusanov. I don't think he knew much about it. But it will be another Bournemouth corner and 20 minutes to go. No sign of a City goal at all.
Another Bournemouth corner getting ready in this one. And yes, they're knocking on the door. It's Bournemouth that have been all over City this second half. City with, just the 3 attempts in the second half, they've been so poor. Really poor, which is quite a surprise.
5th corner of the second half for the Cherries. In swinger once again, Alex Scott to take it. Big men at the back post once again. They're going to go for that. Straight into Donnarumma, who decided to punch. I think there was a foul in there somewhere Anthony Taylor's seen, but I thought he maybe could have got a hold of that one, the Italian, but free kick nonetheless. And he's trying to get on with it, but not a lot in terms of availability for him. We're going to get a replay of what's going on. A little bit of a nudge on him. For a keeper that are so protected, any sort of touch on a keeper, it's going to be a free kick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly that. And Donnarumma's a big goalkeeper, so if he feels anything, he'll go down because they'll see it as it takes a lot. Foden's bundled his man down, nothing given. Bournemouth clear their lines, and once again, it's some lovely football in Núñez with a great touch to regain possession.
Yeah, unbelievable over his own head. It's going to be moved to the near side for Doku. How's your touch? It's unbelievable. Send him down the line. Adam Stiff staying with him, hand on him. Doku into the box. First time he's found space. Edge of the box. Ryan's there. There's always a man there. He's cleared his lines and nearly cleared the stand. It's going to be a City corner, and it's so fast paced. I'm going to pass it to you, Kate, to take us home.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nathan. I was worried for Smith there because Doku looked like he had him the whole way with the pace. The edge difference being the big thing as Doku looks to get the better of Ryan. That is brilliant from the Brazilian. Outstanding. He is something, isn't he? He's special. I think he's going to be one of those that we talk about a lot next season, isn't he? I mean, Bournemouth could be exciting, couldn't they? And once again, you've got the likes of Krupi, Ryan, Evan Nilsson, a great player. If they add to their squad and their attack as well, I mean, he's been great. And I'll tell you why I've been so impressed with him. Because he's been great going forwards. He's so willing to defend.
Yeah.
He's so strong defensively.
He wants to, you can see it.
It's key.
Big time, yeah. He brings as much forward as he does at the back. And obviously, you talked about his tall figure and his stature. Well, it makes it all the more easier when defending it. He looks hungry out there, and he looks hungry to defend just as much as he wants to create a goal as well.
Yes, I see O'Reilly in possession. He looks to get the better of Ryan. Once again, O'Reilly brings him down. I tell you what, that could have been a free kick, nothing given. Doku gets the better of Smith, plays it down the left-hand side. It's overhit towards O'Reilly. That's going to go behind for a goal kick. He's just not gone for City, has it, this second half so far?
Waiting for something to happen in the second half where it would come to light for them and they'd really kick on. You thought a massive half-time, but it's gone the complete polar opposite. And Bournemouth deserve the goal. If anyone's going to score again, Bournemouth deserve it. And they're getting Justin Cliver. That's even more bad news. He's a sensational player. And it looks like Marmouche as well. I don't think Haaland will be going off though. And it looks like they'll be going two up top. So an absolute roll of the die. Just get everything Hail Mary out there for Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, exactly that. As we now see this ready to be taken. We now see Man City back in possession on the right-hand side. And the right side where they are, it's Rodri who's going to whip it into the penalty area towards the head of Erling Haaland, and they just about clear their lines. Foden jumps right in front of him, may have just put him off in that sense. We now see Doku, he keeps it in play, plays it all the way back towards Donnarumma. I mean, miscommunication there, but they get away with it. Manchester City. It's now Gehi, forward ball, looking for Phil Foden, who gets the wrong side of AILFC. Scott turns away as well. Sharp from him. Cherky feels like this is his first touches of the game. I mean, we've barely seen him involved. The Frenchman. It's now Doku driving at Smith once again. That's something they've got to use more. Cherky, as I've just said, that goes for goal. Takes a deflection out for a corner. Well, what timing that would have been if he found the back of the net after I said that.
Commentator's blessing rather than a curse, wasn't it? He's great timing, but foot in there. They look a little bit more hungry and a bit more urgent now, Manchester City, something we didn't see. Need to get it in, run out of time. It'll just take that one, and then the whole pressure and the pendulum swings. Yeah,
I'd have had to have apologised to Arsenal fans in that sense if he went and scored. Cherky whips it in towards the penalty area. It's not well dealt with initially. AILFC Scott tries to clear his lines. It bounced off his own man. Kusanov's in there. O'Reilly gets there. It falls towards Rodri, and it then just ricochets for Tavernier. Does really well to skip away from Cervinha. Tavernier is going to boot it long up towards Evan Nilsson. Great first touch and a second one, and he keeps it in his stride. Brilliant from the Brazilian. Omar Marmouche getting ready to come on. Be interesting to see who makes way. Yeah, I think you can't take Doku off, can you? No. At this stage, can you take Haaland off when you're desperate for goals? Yes, he's been quiet, but can you actually risk it? Bournemouth have just won themselves a corner. I wonder who comes off.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a fullback, but then the way Bournemouth are pressing, they'll be absolutely overloaded out there. So it is going to be a very interesting who they're going to hack here. Can't take Haaland off at this point in the game. Yeah, it probably will be Jeremy Doku, but he does bring something out of nothing, Doku, and he's kicked his career in the last stages of this season. So again, it's a hard one for him to bring off. So
he's been City's best player as well, in my opinion. I mean, it would be ridiculous to take Jeremy Doku off up against Adam Smith. Yes, he has been for the whole 74 minutes, but he's tormented him at times. But I still, even with that, I do still think that Smith's had a decent game up against him, because it's not easy. Ball whipped in for Bournemouth is a poor one, and it goes behind for a goal kick. We presume that change is about to be made. I wouldn't be surprised if it is potentially maybe Mateus Nunes that goes off. Justin Cliver about to come on as well. And he's going to come on for Krupi, which will be like for like, and it's Krupi's goal that separates the two.
It's a brilliant one as well, and tell you what, he has been fantastic tonight. He's been absolutely brilliant, so it's absolutely right. Looks like Jeremy Doku is the one that's going to be coming off. We saw a flash of the 11, but round of applause for Krupi, that will maybe be the potential match winner. We're getting a replay of it, a touch on the instep, and then wrapping it around Kusanov. Top right corner, nearly kisses the inside of the post. Donnarumma doesn't move, who's a brilliant keeper. Celebration to match with the acrobatics. Special talent, absolutely blessed. What a goal that was.
What a great goal it was from him. I am baffled as to taking off Jeremy Doku. It might work. Marmouche, he's definitely more of a goal scorer, that is for sure. More clinical in front of goal. But Doku scored some big goals and late goals as of late as well. Maybe you'd have trusted him let on in this one, but maybe Marmouche will bring a bit better out of Erling Haaland. You never know. Forward ball. Savinho's moved to the left-hand side, it seems. Foden with the ball down the line towards Savinho. And this is better football. Savinho gets there. He looks for a first-time ball into the area. Takes a deflection. Out for a corner.
There's just always somebody there for Bournemouth. Even when they look like they're just about to get exposed, someone recovers, whomever that may be. And I say someone because it could be anyone out there, and they're doing it as a team. It's a brilliant organised unit. Another Man City corner. To say they've been threatening that much from them. They've never really been looking worried, Bournemouth, but you never know. They've got the big lads in there as well. Marmouche as well, so an in-swinging corner.
Yeah, in-swinging delivery towards the back post. Alex Scott wins his header. Round clears away towards Núñez. Núñez finds it to the left-hand side. It's Cherky, opens it onto his right foot, then onto his left, back onto his right. He gives around a bit of a dance. The cross isn't the best from him, though. Savinho up against Cliver. He's into the area himself. It's a nice turn for Savinho. Hangs it up towards the back post. Well defended by Senesi. Rodri looks to knock it down. Gay, he flicks it on. It's cleared away once again. Feels like we're going to hit that stage of the game now, doesn't it? Where it's backs to the walls types of stuff for Bournemouth, where Manchester City just start to dominate proceedings again, but they've got to turn it into chances. Cherky's picked it up on the complete opposite side now. He's absolutely everywhere as the Frenchman. He's now trying to dance his way into the area. He's forced away, plays a heavy pass back to Núñez. His touch was poor. Keeps it in play though in the end. He's certainly got a bit of urgency about the way he's moving with it though. Matheus Núñez opens it up to the right for Cherky. He's going to drive with it himself. It's a nice run from him. Right foot ball into the area. There's Senesi again. I mean, Nathan got it spot on. There is always somebody there, isn't there, in red and black for Bournemouth. We now see Rodri. They're sat very deep at the moment at Bournemouth in their own penalty area. Matt Gay, he's practically stood where a number 10 would be stood. As we now see Savinho. He whips in a wicked delivery, and there's the header from O'Reilly. It's off. Petrovic has spilled it. Oh, wow. And he just about picks it up in the end. He has almost had an absolute nightmare, has Petrovic. O'Reilly's header just went straight up off the deflection of Hill. Seems like a pretty simple take for Petrovic. He drops it, and I tell you what, he drops it into his right hand. That could have been bad.
Wow. Inch perfect performance, and then if that was the one that dropped it, I mean, that would be very cruel, but you're at the highest level, it can happen. But yeah, you're absolutely right. He needed to collect that in two hands first time, and he didn't. And then in the end, he does recover it, and he just takes a big breath because Man City were peppering them and pushing them back towards goal. But at the minute, we're looking at Guardiola. One shot in the last 8 minutes for Man City. It's not been good enough, and they have, 11 plus additional? I can't say they've been mounted additional, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Haven't even used all the substitutions, so very, very big next 11 minutes.
Yeah, huge. Huge moments coming up. Arsenal are 11 minutes away from a Premier League title. Wow, what a big moment for them as we see Matheus Núñez, who gets the better of his man. He flashed it across the face of goal. Brilliant. James Hill, who's been outstanding. What a block that is from him. I mean, they've all been brilliant, haven't they, for Bournemouth? That back four, I mean, special performance from each and every single one of them. Núñez with a mistake that Guardiola can't quite believe that he's messed up that first touch. You can only imagine the Arsenal players are watching this together, can't you? And all the staff, and they're all probably biting the fingernails at the end of this game because it's end-to-end still. Bournemouth now the side in possession. It's Adams, recycles it to the left-hand side. It's been a great watch, hasn't it? This game, it's had a little bit of everything. All it's lacked is the goals. Really, that is it. But we now see Hill in possession. I've been so impressed with James Hill. As we now see Smith hooks it back towards Hill, brings it down. He almost left Bournemouth in the summer of this season for only £2 million. Well, they'll be glad they kept a hold of him. There was Premier League clubs like Leeds United wanting him, which would have seemed at the time a bit bizarre because he's barely ever played at this level. But we now see a ball in behind towards Nico O'Reilly. He keeps it in play, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Donnarumma takes a chance. He's almost just played it into his own net as he finds Kusanov, who just about prevents the corner. Long ball up towards Erling Haaland. It's well defended. Senesi, who's done a great job on him so far. It ricochets to Evan Nilsson. Little back heel to Adams. This is great football from Bournemouth as it stands going into the final game of the season. Man City will be 5 points off Arsenal, which means the trophy will be at the hands of Martin Ødegaard very, very soon, as we now see Truffert. And he plays it all the way back for Senesi. Ball down the left-hand side. Of course, for Arsenal, their season doesn't end after the Premier League title if they were to win it, does it? Because they've got the Champions League final as well. What a double that'd be if they were to do that. I'm not sure as many people are backing them in that final up against PSG, a very special side. Luis Enrique's team, of course, but it'll be a great game nevertheless. We now see Rodri, ball to the left-hand side for Savinho. He looks to dance away from Smith. That's what he does. Foden looked offside. It's intercepted anyway by Smith. Brilliant from him. Here's Ryan on the right-hand side under pressure from Rodri. Pulls the shirt. It's a silly foul. Rodri's a lot cleverer than that, isn't he?
He is. He's had an uncharacteristic night. He's not really looked comfortable in that sort of engine room with what he's done. It's a couple of mistakes for him as well. He doesn't look like he's on the ball. Just to pull the shirt for absolutely no reason. Ryan's looking for it, and as soon as it happens, there it is. Relieves all the pressure all the time. What we got 8 plus the additional. You can see some very, very frustrated Man City fans over in that away stand as well. But yeah, it's one of them. Unfortunately, it's not been Manchester City's night at all. They've been very, very poor. From dot one, really, from that first whistle, Bournemouth have been tremendous. If they walk out with all 3 points, then absolute credit to them. They deserve it. Yeah,
something that we've not mentioned tonight when talking about Ryan, he has been called up to the World Cup by Brazil. Now that is just that vote of confidence and an award for how special he actually is as a talent. I just feel like Brazil, they'll always call up players that come from the Brazilian leagues, don't they? They always have quite a few. And Ryan, of course, just coming from the that side of the world, it's not like they've said, you have to prove yourself at the top level more. They do trust players that play in their own native league. And you now see Gehi in towards Rodri. Of course, the emotional news out of the Brazil camp is Neymar is in it, so it'll be exciting to see what he can do, whether he starts or not. Foden has been given a little bit of a trip. There is a play on. That's going to be a free kick. Is Anthony Taylor going to yellow card then? No, he isn't. And it's going to be a free kick. Maybe it could have been a yellow card for Evan Nilsson there.
I think he's touched on the lenient side, Anthony Taylor. He's been fairly consistent with that this evening. I think it was a yellow card, to be quite frank, but I don't think Man City can argue at this point. Phil Foden's got a free kick, 40-45 yards, very central. The angle is hard, and I don't mean to shoot, I mean even to cross. They need to start getting this right. They've got 7 minutes. It looks like we're going to get another substitution.
Yeah, David Brooks ready to come on for Ryan, who's going to get a round of applause and a standing ovation. What a special, special player. I think, unfortunately for Bournemouth, and something their fans will be sick of, the talk will be how far can Ryan go? and the answer will be further than Bournemouth. Unfortunately for them, I hope for Bournemouth's sake as well, and for his, they get him for at least another year. They probably will. They've only just signed him, haven't they? The replacement of Antoine Semenyo. What a player.
Sublime. I mean, I'd say man of the match, but there's many a name out there. Absolutely brilliant he was. He can hold his head up high after that performance.
Yeah, Phil Foden hangs in the free kick, bounced off the head of Rodri, out for a goal kick, and it sums it up again. You've got it spot on, Nathan. Uncharacteristic night for Rodri. He couldn't have done much more there, but you want your leaders to step up on a night like this, don't you? It's just not gone for them at all. It's not gone for any of them. I think Matt Gay's the only one I've thought 6 out of 10 or above tonight for City.
Yeah, and it's one of them where it had to be right for City, and it always has to be. And they're one of the best teams in the world, and they always find a way. It always feels like City find a way, but tonight has not been that night. We know how good Bournemouth have been this season. We know how good they've been at home as well. Unbeaten in 16, league's best this season. Looks to now be 17. We knew it would be a hard ask for City tonight, but we just expected a bit more from them, is all. You know, if they were 1-0 down and playing some really good football, you'd be like, okay, they need to try to turn this on. But they've been poor. They have been way off it, and they don't deserve to win this game. And I don't even think they get to walk away with a point. I don't think they even deserve that, because Bournemouth have been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, looks like Noel Gallagher's seen enough, as he's maybe heading for the exit as well in that City away end. Of course, follows them everywhere they go. Great support from him. As we now see Senesi balling behind, that's going to go only as far as Donnarumma, straight into his path under no pressure, because like we said, Bournemouth 85 minutes on the clock, probably just at that stage, just wanting to see this one out. It sets up for an exciting final day for them in Liverpool, doesn't it, for their game? So something to look forward to in that sense. Phil Foden looks for a ball in behind towards Erling Haaland. Great defending from Smith, his header back to the goalkeeper. What a great job from the veteran Adam Smith with the captain's armband. Now, he has led by example tonight, hasn't he? 'Cause he's been dealing with all these quick, tricky wingers all night, and that's going to be a free kick the way of Bournemouth, given away by Kusanov, and that's just going to kill time.
Yeah, it's a frustration thing now for City. It's really frustrating. Adam Smith's got a bit of a problem, probably cramp for his left calf. Yeah, he's stretching it out. Looks like to be dehydrated muscles, it looks like, as he's limping away. But another pullback by a City man, more time ticks away because of it. It's pure frustration because I can't say they've not been near the ball in this second half, but they haven't controlled the game like they're used to doing.
Yeah, you now see the header down towards Cherky, back towards Nunes. He's going to have to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. What a setup it's been so far from Bournemouth. 86.5 minutes on the clock. It remains 1-0 to the Cherries, thanks to that first half. Fantastic strike from Eli Junior Krupi. Of course, had a bit of drama circulating today where Roberto Martinez said that he rejected the advances of Portugal to still represent France. Truffert lobs it up into his own penalty area. Haaland's just bundled into Adam Smith. Nothing given in the end, but he can't keep it alive, Haaland. Scott clears his lines. We've not said much about Alex Scott, but he's been brilliant as well, hasn't he? That's a good ball. Evan Nilsson looks to turn away. He's battling up against O'Reilly. He wins the free kick as well. It's soft, but it's clever.
Yeah, it is. He uses his body really well. He knows exactly where to put it, where the player's going to come across to go for the ball. And there is a touch. You're absolutely dead on the money. It was soft, but the referee has seen it as a foul. He's not given them. Again, it's consistent from Anthony Taylor, and it's another frustrating free kick in the terms of Man City, and more time ticking away. 2.5 plus the additional? We'll be looking at the additional time, but they need at least one. they need at least one to try and get back to 2, because this game's getting very far away from them very quickly, and it looks very, very close. Like for the first time in a long time, that Arsenal are going to lift that trophy above their head. Looks like Cook's going to be coming on in that midfield engine room for Bournemouth as well.
Yes, we now see the ball with Alex Scott, who's going to play it back towards Senesi. And Senesi to the left-hand side. It's going to be knocked down. What a touch that is. Nunes gives him a little bit of a pull. Ball into the area. Finds Brooks. No. He's made a mess of it. What a chance to kill the game off. What a chance to almost hand Arsenal the Premier League title. David Brooks scuffs it and then he recovers it. What a challenge that is from the Welshman. Here come Bournemouth again. Brooks finds Evan Nilsson onto his left boot, goes for goal, and he puts it wide in the end. What a chance that was for David Brooks. The Arsenal fans, the Arsenal staff would have celebrated that. Would have been the title over, and he scuffs it into the ground.
Take a touch. There's no need. You've got to take a touch there. You've got so much time and space in the box, right-hand side, about 7 or 8 yards out. Just take yourself a touch, pick your corner and wrap it. And he's hit it into the floor and scuffed it, took his eye off it. Looks like Evan Nilsson's been hacked for Lewis Cook. So a holding midfielder who will graft as well at the last stages of this second half is coming on. It looks like actually Unal's coming on as well. So and maybe not. It looks like a light flight with Unal, and then someone else is going to be making way in his place as well.
Yeah, more changes coming up. It's going to be Smith, and yeah, Cook's played right back quite a lot, hasn't he, Lewis Cook? So it's going to be another shift from him, the former Leeds United man, as he enters the field of play. And Smith, what a game he's had.
Sensational, absolutely sensational. You know, loses his pace last stage of his career, with all due respect, but knows to be in the right place at the right time. I mean, that header back to his keeper about 2 minutes ago was just sheer brilliance. What a piece of defending that was, and a bit of calm, composed defending at this stage in the game. Another brilliant name, another call for player of the match. It's a very long list, and none of them are Manchester City.
Yeah, what a turn that is, and Brooks is 1-on-1 to seal the game. Brooks slots it past it. No, he's hit the post. David Brooks has hit the post. Well, he's not going to be getting any Christmas cards this year from any Arsenal fans or players or anyone to do with that club. Oh my God, how has he not scored? He's hit the post and he's lost the ball. And here come Manchester City. It's Nico O'Reilly on the attackers. We've just hit the 90th minute. 6 minutes of added time. What an opportunity that was. Savinho on the left. He looks to hook it in. They've won a corner. What on earth? He's not brought his shooting boots off the bench, has he?
No, if they don't win this game now, you're looking at them 2 chances. He's 1-on-1. Donnarumma's on the edge of the box practically. Oh, the corner's there. He's done the right thing, opened out, seen the corner, sidestep. He's just hit the post.
What play from me now?
It has to go in. Oh, it was brilliant. A brilliant play. Just comes in, sets him up 1-on-1. It has to go in. It has to.
Yeah, it really does. Imagine we live in a world where Man City win this game from here. I mean, the chaos. What a season it's been, hasn't it, in the Premier League? You might say the quality's dropped a little bit, hence why it's been closer. I like it like that.
Yeah.
I like it when there's everywhere's got something to play for. Every game, just it feels like somebody can get something. Of course, barring if maybe Burnley and Wolves have been involved, but everybody else so competitive this season. It's just been great. We keep seeing pictures of the Man City fan who had the Arsenal bottle. He's definitely regretting that now, isn't he? as we see this, or maybe he isn't, because he probably got quite a lot of opportunities from it. As we see now, that corner must have come from nothing, because we're now just looking at Man City with possession with their goalkeeper. They were too busy showing us the fans. Donnarumma in possession. 91 and a half minutes on the clock. 6 added on, like mentioned. Long ball headed away by Senesi. Unal was definitely offside. He boots it long, but it's not necessarily kicking the ball away because the whistle hadn't gone yet, so he can do what he wants. Cousineau finds Rodri. Kluivert gives bundles into him a little bit. They don't really need to tussle with each other. And now Kluivert stands up. They're all just getting involved. It's not really something they need to be doing. Kluivert and Rodri going at it with each other, pushing and shoving, and they're both going to get yellow card, and I'm not too sure unless it'll just be Kluivert in this. I don't really know. You can't really book Rodri, can you, in this situation? Kluivert walks off. Anthony Taylor with the yellow card in his hand. I think he's just going to book Kluivert, is he, or is he going to book Rodri as well? I don't think he has. I think it may just be Kluivert.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's trying to make him. He's trying to make him fight him, Kluivert. I think he wants to waste time. I think there's nothing in it. I think he's just trying to waste time, just trying to start something out of absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's nothing in it. Bit of a pull, and then there's argy-bargy. The Bournemouth players want to get on with it.
Yeah, ball into the penalty area. Rodri jumps up for the header. It's now going to go in behind. It's knocked down. Rodri's been bundled to the ground, and he's won a free kick right on the edge. And what a chance this could be.
It's huge. That is touching the paint. He's been barricaded into there, Rodri, right in his back. I think there's a yellow card for a Bournemouth man in there somewhere as well. I don't know exactly whom it is, but let's have a look. It goes up in the air, bang, yeah, it's Justin Kluivert. I think that's a bit of what they call a receipt from the melee moments ago. He's just gone through him again. That is right on the edge, left-hand side of the D in the corner. It's almost too close, isn't it? It's one of them that direct free kicks is going to be hard to get up and under. It's going to be interesting, but 3 minutes to go. If they score now, it could get very interesting.
Yeah, it could. A free kick directly on the edge of the box. Wow, what a moment this could be as Cherki puts the ball down. If they score here, well, they're going to sprint for that ball. What a moment this could be. It feels like it's now or never. It is now or never for the Premier League title. Marmoush and Ryan Cherki, the men over it. It is any closer, it's a penalty. That's how close this is. A little bit off to the left-hand side. Cherki steps up. It's going to be Marmoush who hits it straight into the wall. It falls to Phil Foden. It's a bit of an air kick from him. Cherki then goes down. It's a dive from him. The referee doesn't give anything. And Bournemouth can counter. And here's Justin Kluivert on the attack. He turns onto his right boot, then tries to get the better of his man, and he gives it away. And that's not great for Justin Kluivert in that sense. We now see Matías Nunes, who's going to look to turn away from his man. He's going to play it to the right-hand side for Cherki. What a disappointing free kick that was.
It was awful. It was, it's a pet peeve of mine. I'd rather than blaze it over the bar than hit the wall. It was so under hit, it was poor.
Here's now see Cousineau flicks it on towards Erling Haaland, heads it into the area, still going. There's an overhead kick clearance, which is dangerous, and Man City in the post. Haaland, what a strike that is! Man City have got it. They've got one back. They need another. They have to have another. To Manchester City, they've got 1.5 minutes to save their title hopes. There's barely a smile. They look defeated as is. What a hit from Erling Haaland, and it's 1-1.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic finish. Something out of nothing, just falls for a guy, just one Man City man to get a yard of space. Oh, he's curled that off the inside of the post. It's an absolute corker, it really is. But they've got themselves, what, a minute. They've got a minute to do this. They need to get, well, you could add on the melee that they had as well. It could be another minute or two. I'm not quite sure, but there's still time. Pep's had a look at the clock as well, but need to get the ball forward to City.
Wow, biggest couple minutes of the Premier League season coming up. City have possession. They're on the right-hand side. Truffert just nips in, gives it away. Cousineau, great challenge. Here comes Marmoush, who's been wiped out by Truffert. Another yellow card incoming as it stands 4 points separate. If you're an Arsenal fan, God, I'd hate to feel it. Even I feel nervous, and I couldn't care less who wins the title. It's just one of those. Truffet's been booked, 5th yellow card of the season. City have a free kick. I mean, if they win it here, Nathan, we'll be part of the watching Premier League history. Simple as we now see the ball whipped in. They've not cleared the lines as of yet. Tavernier just about clears it away. Nunes wins his header. And now it's going to be Savinho. Gets the better of his man. Is he going to win the second ball? He is. That is magical from Savinho, who's driving forward into the penalty area. What a chance. This is Savinho with the cutback. Finds Rodri. Cherki's blocked it off his own man. What a moment that is. Magical from Savinho. The clearance. Here come Bournemouth on the attack. It's a 3v2. Ball down the right. It's terrible. In the end, City win it back with 30 seconds over the 6 minutes. Well, you've got to play at least another 2. No, you haven't. He's blown for full time, and Arsenal have done it. Arsenal win the Premier League. What an ending to the game. Man City could have created the final chance. Cherki blocked the shot off his own man, and a brilliant Premier League season at the top end of the table comes to a close. Manchester City fall right at the death after being FA Cup heroes recently. It is Arsenal who are crowned Premier League champions. It's felt like a lifetime for that club, those fans, but they will celebrate it. They will celebrate it all night, all week, all season. We're seeing pictures of them now on the streets next to the Emirates. It is unbelievable. Manchester City, they fall at the Vitality Stadium thanks to goals from Krupi and Haaland. What a fixture it has been, and it all sets up for the final game of the season. It finishes Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 1. The 25-26 champions have been crowned, and congratulations to Arsenal.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total